So just taking a moment to land onto the mat. Just using that exhalation to soften, to release your day. To release any plans you might have, anything you feel like you need to be doing. Just letting it go with the exhale. Let the shoulders drop. Let the tongue release from the roof of the mouth. Let the jaw release. Let the pelvic floor release. Just soften. And observe that natural breath. As it flows in and out through your nose, just observing the relationship that it has with your body. Feeling the belly move. We often run through life trying to have a flat tummy, trying to sit up, suck the tummy in. Don't do that in yoga. Just allow it. Just to release. While we want to have strong abdominals, internal and external, or more external, they need to have that softness to them. The belly needs to be able to move as we breathe. If we're too tight around the pelvic floor and the tummy, the breath sits high up into the chest. Puts us into that slight state of fight or flight. And also creates an awful lot of tension around the neck and the shoulders. So if you're somebody that suffers really badly with that constant neck stretching, shoulder tension across the top, I love how everybody's just stretching their necks out, but really keep an eye on your breathing. Because you can do as many stretches as you want, as many yoga classes as you want. But if that breathing is shallow and you're using those secondary respiratory muscles in the neck and the shoulders to lift and lower all the time instead of the belly, that tension's never going to go away. Do you get it badly? Are you a neck and shoulder person? Yeah. It's the primary breathing muscles. I speak about it a lot, but it's the diaphragm and the belly and the intercostals are the main breathers. So when we're breathing, if this is all locked, tight through the pelvic floor, tight through the diaphragm, and we can't, that's tight, and we're trying to sit here with a flat tummy and tight clothes, we then breathe up here. And if that's what's going on, these become the primary muscles. They're supporting muscles. You know, they're there to support the breathing, not to do all the work. So we're constantly like this, tight, tight breath. You're going to be doing this for 20 years until you learn to relax the breathing and relax the nervous system and come back into this space of rest or digest. And sometimes you can't get back into that space. Sometimes you sit on your yoga mat, you get into the class and you've been so busy or you've got so much going on that when you sit on your class and I'm going, relax your belly, breathe deeply, and you're like, I can't. That's okay. But just be aware of it. Just be aware that the breath is maybe sitting up here. And that what you want to be working on is just softening. You know, softening into the belly, the pelvic floor especially. If there's tension through the pelvic floor, you can't breathe deeply. Yeah, so keeping that focus on a natural breath, just come forwards onto all fours and move into your cat-cow. So timing your movement and your breath. That inhale, take the length of the inhale to explore the spine as you extend and lift the gaze. Take the length of the exhale as you round, feeling from the base of the spine all the way up to the top of the neck. Again, the length of the inhale to extend. And the length of the exhale to round. You can do it with your eyes closed, just feeling into all the sensations in your body as you move. Those subtle communications that we ignore so often. Good. And start to circle your hips. So nice big circles, as if you were drawing a circle on the wall behind you. Really feeling that watery quality to the spine, get the whole spine moving, the shoulders as well. Good, and change the direction of your circles. And then coming back to the center. So walk your hands forward a hand's length. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. And then tuck your toes and hover your knees about 1 inch off the mat. Now you get to tighten your tummy muscles. And as important as it is to tighten them and strengthen them, it's even more important to release them every now and then. We don't want them permanently tight, but right now, find that lift through Mula Bandha, that little lift just above the perineum, that activation through Uddiyana Bandha. Spread the toes, feel into Pada Bandha. Spread the fingers and root down through the knuckles and the pads of the fingers. So we work into Hasta Bandha, the whole body nice and strong. And then find that steady flow of the breath. So as we hold the structure of the posture, the breath flows all the way down to the feet, just holding for a couple more breaths. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, extend back into your downward dog. Really feel your way back. Shake yourself out in the posture. Wiggle the hips from side to side. Pedal the feet. Shake the head out. Feel into your body where it feels a bit stuck, especially as it's getting colder. We start to feel the aches and the pains and all the little bits. And then find stillness. Just be still and feel. Good. And then while you're here, shrug your shoulders up around your ears in your downward dog. And then let them drop. So drawing the shoulder blades back onto the ribs. Again, shrug them. Shoulders up by the ears. And then let them drop. One last time. Shrugging the shoulders by the ears. And then let them drop. So feeling as the shoulders drop, they're actually not dropping because they're going up, but that feeling of them dropping, the space it creates around the neck, we want that space. Good. And then lift up high onto your tiptoes. So tiptoe the feet towards the hands. So bringing the toes about 6 inches behind the wrists. See if you can keep your weight into the hands as if you were going into a handstand. Lift up high onto the tiptoes. So really engaging the fronts of the legs. Engaging through the core, that little lift through Mula Bandha. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, lower the heels down to the mat. So coming into Uttanasana, walk the hands around to the right side of the mat, pushing the left sitting bone back. Breathe into the stretch down the left side. Good. And then walk the hands around to the left side. Push the right sitting bone back. It's going to try and creep forwards. Good. And then come back to the center. So bringing your hands onto the backs of your hips as you inhale, come up to standing. Exhaling, arms down by your side into Tadasana. Good. So we're going to do a little chair sequence to warm up because it's everyone's favorite on a freezing day. So here, coming into Tadasana, I want you to activate the feet. So Melinto, this is the foot thing we're talking about. So lifting the toes back, spread your toes wide. Good. And push down through the four corners of the feet so you feel the leg muscles start to activate. And then sit back into chair pose. So keep the toes lifted, keep the feet active, actively pushing down through the feet as you lengthen. Notice here, if your shoulders are up by your ears, you can pull the head of the arm bones back in towards the shoulders. Bring the arms in front. Let's make it easier. Put the arms in front. So you're reaching forwards through the fingertips. Pull the head of the arm bones back in towards the shoulders. Keep that activation and then slowly take the arms up and feel the back muscles engage. So here the back muscles are supporting. Is that a smile? Yay, chair pose. You're feeling the back muscles supporting rather than hanging into these neck and shoulder muscles. Good. As you inhale, come up to standing. Exhaling, arms down by your side. Good. Now bring the arms out in front. You're going to love me for this one. Come up onto your tiptoes. So Melinto, do this with your feet down if that knee's funny. Do it with flat feet again. So spreading the toes wide, root down. Take a nice deep breath in, coming up as high as you can. And then as you exhale, bend the knees coming down. So you're coming down as low as you can without sitting onto the calf. So you're finding that point of no return and hovering in it. And breathe. This is where we might need to turn the heaters off. So Sarah, come up. Even more. There. You know that bit where you just want to go below it? Stop there. 2 more breaths. Good. Inhaling, slowly come back up to the tiptoes. Exhaling, arms down by your side into Tadasana. How to warm up on a cold day. Good. Inhaling, floating your arms up. Take your gaze to your thumbs. On the exhale, forward fold to Uttanasana. Inhaling, look forwards to your flat back. Exhaling, step back, chaturanga, or knees, chest, and chin. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhaling back to your downward dog and hold it here. Again, observe the breath. Just looking at that quality of the breath. Oh, that's hot. Is it too hot in this corner? Is it nice? Okay, we'll leave it then. Good. On your inhale, step forwards, coming into your flat back. So look forwards and lengthen the spine. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Work the hands back alongside the feet. Inhaling, rise up to stand, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Good. Inhaling, floating your arms up. Exhale, forward fold to Uttanasana. Inhaling to your flat back. Exhaling, step back, chaturanga, or knees, chest, and chin. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale, back to your downward dog and hold. So relax the neck. Relax the face. Relax the jaw. Good. On your inhale, step forwards, come into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Inhaling, rise up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Good. Inhaling, taking the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, flat back. Exhaling, step back, Chaturanga. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhaling back to your downward dog. Again, come back to the breath. So finding that structure of the pose. Using Hasta Bandha, Pada Bandha, all the bandhas in between. And then finding the flow of the breath. Just allowing it to move. That constant exchange of prana as we move through. Observe if there's any tension as you're holding this. There's a difference between a strong hold and tension. If there's any tension, release. On your inhale, step forwards, come into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Inhaling, rise up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana, gaze to the thumbs. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Good. Inhaling, taking the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling to your flat back. Exhaling, step back, Chaturanga on knees, chest and chin. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale, back to downward dog. Good, Rachel, come forwards to plank for a second. So tuck the toes as if you were coming from an upward dog. Point your toes as if you were coming from an upward dog, like that. Yeah, do that. Now, when you're moving back, come up, up and over. Yeah, good. Inhaling, step forwards, come into your flat back. It's nearly there. I'm trying to save your toes. Exhale, fold down to Uttanasana. Inhaling, rise up to stand, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Inhale, floating the arms up. Again, find length as you lift. Exhale, forward fold, keeping that length as you fold from the hips. Inhale to your flat back. Exhale, step back to plank and hold. Yeah, or do a push-up if you've done Chaturanga already. So holding it here, make sure that the wrists are underneath the shoulders, not sort of 6 inches in front, because that's much harder, unless you want to make it much harder. So again, spread the toes, activate your feet. So that same action when we're standing, activating Pada Bandha, we spread the toes, flex them back as if you're trying to lift the tips of the toes off the mat. Push back through the 4 corners of the feet. That little lift of Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha. And then breathe. Your mind will try and get you out of this posture. It will go, you can't do it, you can't do it, we need to get out. I can't do it, I'm shaking. Ignore it. If you are in the posture, doing all these little checks, how does it feel? Without labeling, just feeling. Stay with it. It's amazing how strong your body is if you allow it. Good. Just 2 more breaths. Good. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, Chaturanga on knees, chest and chin. Inhaling to Cobra or Upward Dog. Exhale back to your Downward Dog and come back to your breath. On your inhale, step forwards, come into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Inhaling, rise up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhaling, hands to the heart center. So we're going to be doing in plank scapular push-ups, which sounds a lot worse than it is. It's actually not a lot. All we're doing, and for you guys on Zoom, all you're doing is literally you're pushing the arms down into the mat. So you're lifting the chest back, and then you're drawing the shoulder blades together. So it's literally just that action. If you can see what I'm doing, it's just that, but in plank. Yeah. So you feel the shoulder blades sliding apart and then together. And it's not a big movement. Yeah. But in plank. You can do it on all fours if plank's too much. So arms down by your side. Inhaling, taking the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, lift to your flat back. Exhaling, step back to plank. So here, if you want to do it on all fours and just get a feeling for it, you can lower the knees down. Otherwise in plank. So you're going to lift the chest away from the mat, push into the pads of the fingers, and then draw the shoulder blades together on your back. Again, lifting away and draw the shoulder blades together. So it's these small movements. Small but hard. Keeping strong through the core. Getting used to that feeling of the shoulder blades separating and coming together. Good. And taking a nice deep breath in. Exhale, chaturanga or knees, chest and chin. Inhaling to cobra or upward dog. Exhale back to your downward dog and come back to your breath. But on your inhale, step forwards, come into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Inhaling, rise up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhaling, bring the hands to the heart center. On your inhale, sit back to Utkatasana and bring the arms out in front to shoulder height. So again, activate the feet. Get the feet working, then pull the head of the arm bones back in towards the shoulders, keeping that activation as you inhale, take the arms up, feel the back muscles. On the exhale, forward fold to Uttanasana. Inhaling, lift to your flat back. Exhaling, step back, chaturanga or knees, chest and chin. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale back to your downward dog. Inhaling, step the right foot forwards, Virabhadrasana 1. So the left heel comes to the mat. As you take the arms up, pull the head of the arm bones back in. So again, you find that extension of the spine, taking a nice breath in as you lengthen. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga or knees, chest and chin. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale back to your downward dog. Inhaling the left foot forward, so placing the right heel to the mat, Virabhadrasana 1. As we take the arms up, connecting, whether the arms are going out to the side or out in front, pull the head of the arm bones back in and come up. Take a nice breath in as you lengthen through the whole spine. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhale back to your downward dog and come back to your breath. Relax through the neck. Relax through the jaw. On your inhale, step forwards, coming into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Bend your knees on your inhale, slowly coming up to Utkatasana, finding that connection of the shoulders. And exhale, come to stand, bring the hands to the heart center. Good. Inhaling, sit back to Utkatasana. Again, connect at the shoulders. On the exhale, bring the hands in front of the heart center and then twist to your right, hooking your left elbow over your right knee. Have a look down at your knees. Make sure they're level. If the feet are hip distance, the knees stay hip distance. So drawing that left hip back, breathe into the twist. Wherever it might feel a little bit tight, use the breath to massage from the inside out. Good. On the inhale, come back to the center, taking the arms up. Exhaling, twist over to the left. So hooking the right elbow over the left knee. Again, do a little check-in with your knees. Draw that right hip back if you need to. And breathe. If the breath is becoming gaspy or you can't get a full breath in, back out of the twist slightly. Just so you can find that breath again. Good. Inhaling, come back to the center, extend the arms up and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling to your flat back. Exhaling, step back, chaturanga or knees, chest and chin. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhaling back to your downward dog. On your inhale, step the right foot between the hands. So either high lunge is easier, Virabhadrasana 1 is harder. Taking the arms up, coming into whichever one you want. Exhaling, fold halfway forwards, bring the hands in front of the heart center and twist to the right. So if that back heel is down, it's harder to do the twist, but go for it. Keep that connection to both feet and into your midline. So hug the inner thighs together. Good. Inhaling, come back to the center, take the arms up. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga or knees, chest and chin. Three-legged if you want to. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhaling back to downward dog. Inhale the left foot forward. So high lunge or Virabhadrasana 1, whichever you did on the other side. Exhaling, fold halfway forward. So lengthen, hands in front of the heart center and twist to the left. Keep that connection to the back foot. I've done a lot of nagging about back feet in the last 2 months, but really connecting. So Martha, more back foot, spread the toes. Yeah, there. Good. Inhaling, come back to the center and take the arms up. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhaling back to your downward dog. And come back to your breath. That back foot, when we place, whether it's in a warrior, a lunge, a warrior 2, when any one of those postures, we lose the back foot, we lose our strength and our anchor. That's that's what holds us. So the rest of us can wobble around and wiggle about. So keeping that connection connects into the midline, into our core. But on your inhale, step forwards, come into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Bend your knees on your inhale, come up to Utkatasana. Exhaling, come to stand, hands to the heart center. Inhaling, sit back to Utkatasana. So lengthening. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, flat back. Exhaling, step back, chaturanga. Inhaling, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale to Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Inhaling, step the right foot forwards again, high lunge or Virabhadrasana 1. It's up to you. And on your exhale, circle the hands back behind you, interlace the fingers and extend the arms away. Good. Inhale to lift the gaze and come into a gentle back bend. Exhaling, fold forwards, coming on the inside of the front thigh, taking the arms up and over. Hold it here and breathe. See if you can really draw the shoulder blades together. Yes. Try and pinch the shoulder blades together. Yeah, there. Good. Pressing into the feet, move from your core. So lift through the pelvic floor as you come up, releasing the arms, bring them out in front. Cross the left arm on top of the right, coming into Garudasana bind. Inhaling, lift the elbows, draw the hands away from the face. So feeling that extension of the whole spine. Good. See if you can lift the elbows a little bit higher, take the gaze up towards the ceiling. How far into a back bend can you go comfortably? Good. Releasing the bind, inhale, coming back up to your high lunge. Exhaling, turn to the left, Virabhadrasana 2. So again, relax the shoulders. Good. Find that softness through the face, through the gaze. Good. On your inhale, reaching towards the front of the room. Exhaling, Parsvakonasana. So either elbow to knee or full bind, whichever you're working into. If you're doing elbow to knee, see if you can take the left hand behind you and bind to the front of the right thigh. So hold on to the front of the right thigh. Now, whichever variation you're in, we're going to start to straighten the front leg coming into a bound triangle. If it doesn't fully straighten, please don't force it. Breathe into it. You've got another 3 goes at this on either side. So to bring this shoulder back there. Yeah. Good. Bending the front leg as you inhale, release the bind, come back up to your warrior 2. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga or knees, chest and chin. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale back to your downward dog. Inhaling the left foot forward, so coming into your high lunge or your warrior. Exhaling, circle the hands back behind you and change the interlace of the fingers. So there's one that feels normal, change it to the weird feeling one. Roll the shoulders back, lift the gaze as you inhale. Exhaling, fold onto the inside of the front leg. So taking the arms up and over. Draw the shoulder blades in together. Notice if you're dumping weight into the front hip. See if you can connect to that back foot and to your midline more. Use that little lift of Mula Bandha around the pelvic floor to lift and find space in the front hip. Good. Then release the bind. Inhale, coming back up, bring the arms in front. And then crossing the right arm on top of the left, Garudasana bind. Good. Inhaling to lift the elbows, draw the hands away from the face. So coming into an extension of your spine. See if you can feel it equally through the whole spine. So more back leg, Jenny. If you step the back foot forwards a few inches, you'll be less in the splits, yeah. Good, releasing the bind, inhale, taking the arms up. Exhaling, turn to your right, Virabhadrasana 2. See if you can work a little bit lower. We've done a lot of this recently. Get low. Connect to that back leg and then soften into the front. Use your bandhas to lift so you're not dumping into that front leg. Keep the toes lifted if the knee's funny. Inhaling, reach towards the front of the room. Exhaling, open out, Parsvakonasana, so elbow to knee or full bind, whichever variation you work into. And then taking that right arm round behind you and take hold of the left thigh if your elbow is on your knee. And then everybody straightening the front leg or working towards straightening the front leg. Please be nice to your legs. So Sarah, yeah, I'm not even going to say anything. Just Sarah. That's all I'm going to say. You made it. Keep working on that external rotation and the body will correct itself. Good. Bending the front knee, release the bind. Inhale, come back up to your warrior 2. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhale back to your downward dog and come back to your breath. Observe again that breath. Good. On your inhale, step forwards, coming into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Bend your knees, inhale, come up to Utkatasana. Exhaling, come to stand, bring the hands to the heart center. Good. Inhaling, sit back to Utkatasana. Exhale and forward fold. Inhaling, lift to your flat back. Exhaling, step back, Chaturanga on knees, chest and chin. Inhaling, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale to Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Inhale the right foot forwards, high lunge or Virabhadrasana 1. And exhaling, circle the hands back behind you, interlace the fingers. As you inhale, extend the arms away. So you can either bring the palms together or have them separate. Nice breath in. And as you exhale, fold forwards onto the inside of the front thigh. See if you can take the arms up and over your head. So as with all the postures, we build it from the feet up. If we lose the feet, we lose the connection to the core, we lose the connection to everything. It all spills out and collapses and wobbles. So Sarah, bend that front leg more. I know you've got more room. Yes. Releasing the bind. Inhale, slowly coming up, bring the arms out in front. Left arm on top of the right, Garudasana bind. Inhaling, lift the elbows, draw the hands away from the face. Work into that back bend. Most importantly, you want to feel it evenly from the base of the spine up to the top of the neck. If you feel it too much in the lower back, lift out of it more, lift and open. Good. Inhaling, release, take the arms up. Exhaling, turn to the left, Virabhadrasana 2. Soften down, see if you can get a little bit lower into your warrior. So working this front thigh down parallel towards the floor, keeping the connection of the back leg. Inhale, reaching forwards. Exhaling, Parshvakonasana. So either the full bind or elbow to knee, and the half bind, taking the left arm back for the right thigh. Now straightening that front leg. So ideally here, you've got a wall in front of you and you're not knocking into it. So your right waist is on the top of the right thigh and there's still space in the right hip. Bend the right knee, release the bind. Inhale, come back up to warrior 2. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, Chaturanga. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhale back to your downward dog. Inhaling the left foot forwards, high lunge or warrior 1. Exhaling, circle the hands behind you and take the weird feeling interlace. Inhale and extend the arms away. Exhale, fold forward. So taking the arms up and over. Notice here what's going on with that left hip. Has your bum kind of swung out to the left somewhere? Can you bring it back into the midline? So imagine you're trying to hug the inner thighs together. Good, releasing the bind. Inhale, coming up, bring the arms in front, cross the right arm on top of the left, Garudasana. Inhale, take the elbows up to the ceiling, lift the arms towards the ceiling, away from the face. There.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, just to make it a bit harder. Good, inhaling, release, take the arms up. Exhaling, turn to your right, Virabhadrasana 2. Soften into that front leg. So turn the, Anna, turn the right toes forward a bit. The more you put into that back leg, the more you push back into that leg energetically, the less you dump into the front leg. You're distributing that energy through the legs. It means you can go lower. You can soften without just dumping into the front leg. So use that back leg. Inhaling, reach forwards. Exhaling, open out, Parsvakonasana. So taking the bind as you did on the other side. When you've either got hold of the front thigh or the full bind, straightening the front leg. Good. So Martha and Anna, roll those shoulders back. Yes. Yeah. Good. Release the bind, bend the front knee. Inhale, come back up to your warrior two. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhaling back to your downward dog and come back to your breath. Observe the changes. Without trying to change it, without judgment or narrative, just observing changes in body temperature, changes in energy, changes in the breath. We don't need to know why, try and do anything about them, just observe them. But on your inhale, step forwards, come into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Bend your knees, inhale, come up to Utkatasana. Exhaling, come to stand, hands to the heart center. Inhaling, sit back to Utkatasana. Make sure that your knees and toes are going in the same direction and you can see your toes. On the exhale, forward fold to Uttanasana. Work the hands back alongside the feet. Go deeper into this. Inhale to your flat back. Exhaling, step back, chaturanga. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhale back to your downward dog. Inhaling, step the right foot forwards, high lunge or Virabhadrasana 1. Exhaling, circle the arms back behind you, interlace the fingers. Inhale to extend and lengthen through the spine. Exhale and fold. Release the bind. Inhale, coming up, bringing the arms in front. And as you exhale, cross over left arm on top of the right. Inhaling, lift the elbows, draw the hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale to release, coming straight into your warrior two. On your inhale, reaching forwards towards the front of the room. Exhaling, take the bind. Inhaling, straighten the front leg. Exhale, bend the front knee. Inhale, releasing, come up to warrior two. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale back to your downward dog. Inhaling the left foot forwards, high lunge or warrior one. Exhaling, circle the hands back behind you, change the interlace of the fingers. Inhale to extend. Exhale, fold forwards, bringing the arms over the head. Inhaling, come up, bring the arms out in front. Exhale, right arm on top of the left, Garudasana. Inhaling, elbows up, lift the arms towards the ceiling. Exhaling, release and turn straight to the right, warrior two. Inhale, reach to the front of the room. Exhaling, take the bind, Parsvakonasana. As you inhale, right there, Jenny. Inhaling, straighten the front leg. It's all a bit fast. Exhaling, bend the front knee. Release the bind as you inhale, come back up to your warrior two. It's a lot going on. Exhaling, lower the hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhale back to downward dog. There's something that happens in yoga. I'm constantly going. Be present in every single step of it. Be present with every breath. The length of an inhale and the length of an exhale is quite a long time. But when we're moving through a flow class, we can tend to be, or try and be, one step ahead. We're in the next posture before we've even moved into it. We're mentally in the future, or we're stuck in the I can't do this. But if we stay in the present moment, there is enough time to mindfully flow from one posture to another. It's only when we're trying to skip ahead and we get lost that it starts to be too much. we start to get too carried away. So staying in the moment with the breath. So coming back into your downward dog if you're in child's pose. On your inhale, step forwards, come into your flat back. Exhaling, fold down to Uttanasana. Bend your knees on your inhale, come up to standing Utkatasana. Exhale, come to stand, hands in front of the heart center. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yay, great. Everyone's going to be perfect. But there's it really slows it down. It's actually almost like time extends. When we drop into the present moment, it's like, oh my God, that bind that we're faffing around trying to get because we're trying so hard to be in time for the next thing. Actually, it's like, damn, this breath is going on for ages. And it is amazing how much time it just slows right down when we are in the moment, which is what we want, especially when we're in a flow class. Otherwise, that's where we do injuries, coming in and out of postures. So staying in that moment. Now you're going to be in this moment, which you're going to love. So take your feet out to almost mat width. So you've got the heels on the mat and the toes turned out off the mat. You want your toes to about 45 degrees. Malinte, I'm going to say be really mindful of your knee in this one. You might want to skip it, see how it goes. So we're going to come down into Malasana. So here we lift the toes. And I want you to really work strongly with the feet. Put a soft bend in your knees to start with, and just make sure that your knees and toes are naturally going in the same direction, not that you're trying to force them out. Yeah, if you need to, turn the toes in a little bit so that they meet the knees. Otherwise, this is going to get really intense. So straightening the legs. On your inhale, take the arms up. Exhaling, bend the knees, bringing the hands in front of the heart center as we slowly come into Malasana. So you bring the elbows onto the insides of the front of the thighs. Getting cramp in my hip. And slowly push the hips out. Then straightening the right arm. You can bring the hands just in front of the right foot and twist open to the left. Now, if you want to go deeper, you can take this into a bind. You can reach that top arm round behind you, internally rotate the right arm and see if you can bind at the back of the right hip. Then release, coming back to the center and onto the other side. It's really intense in the hips. So you can place the left hand to the mat and just take the right arm up. That might be enough. Just using that left arm to brace that left knee back. If you want to work into the bind, you can go into the bind. If your hips are burning like mine are at the moment, relax. I'm with you. It hurts. Good. And then release. Come back to the center. Come onto all fours gently. And do a little cat-cow. So feel into that release. Give the hips a little bit of a circle. Good. And now I'm going to suggest having a block near your feet. If your hips are tight, having 2 blocks. If knees aren't good, you can do this with the legs just out in front, with the sitting comfortably. Otherwise, on all fours, and have a strap close by as well. Have the strap close to your feet. In 13 years of teaching, I always forget to tell people to put the strap near their feet, and we sit back and the strap's a mile away. So from here, on all fours, have your straps and blocks. Good. So you're going to bring the legs together and then lifting the left leg up, cross it behind the right leg and open the feet out wide. Then sit back between your heels. So this is where, if you see how your knee goes with this, Malinte, it might not be helpful. You can do it with the dodgy leg straight. Just straighten the leg. anyone else has got funny knees, not you're right there, Alan. Good. Yeah. So make sure both sitting bones are down, and then taking your strap, if you use the strap. So the strap will go into the left hand. We're going to take the left arm up, bend the elbow and bring the hand down behind your head. If your hair's in a ponytail, it's going to get in the way. Use the right hand just to encourage that left elbow behind your head. No. Sit up nice and tall. If this is a really intense stretch, it might be enough just to stay here. Otherwise, taking the other arm out to the side, the other arm being the right one, turn the palm back and then reach around and see if you can either bind the hands or with the strap. This posture is a classic for neck tension, because we go like this and then we're like this, go, oh. If you tense through your face, try it yourself as you're sitting here, clench your jaw and screw up your face, and then let it all go. Do a good, and let it go and feel the difference. So often we come into these weird and wonderful yoga postures, and there's a bit of this going on, and the face is a bit tight. And when you're doing that, you're communicating to your body, this is not safe. This is not okay. It's not going to release and open. You're going to fight with it. And that's why we get injuries. If you're in this posture and you're holding your breath, are you holding your breath? Yeah. You're communicating to your body, this isn't safe. And then you're putting in this position where you're trying to literally tear it open, because if your body's tightening up, going not safe, not safe, not safe, you're going open, open, open. You're at war with your own body. That practice of ahimsa that we talk about in yoga, this practice of non-violence, this is one of those acts. It's like, what am I doing? So you have to be in your body to listen to what your body is communicating. If it's not breathing and if it's tightening, it's not safe. It doesn't feel safe. If you can't bring the breath back and soften, back out slightly. Listen to your body. This is the difference between a yoga class and a stretch class. You can go to a stretch class and do all the same postures, all the yoga postures. You know, in fitness yoga, they go in and they do all the same postures. But really, when you're coming at it from a yogic point of view, you're coming at it from a place of love and kindness. And slowly release. Good. And then feel. Have you had enough of the legs? Like, no, don't want to do it anymore. So swapping the legs over. I know we were in it for a long time, but it's one of those postures that it's like any yoga posture. You know, in Ashtanga, they say you only ever need to stay in a posture for 5 breaths. But there's a lot to discover when we do a long hold in a posture. Firstly, you start to really hate your teacher. You really start to dislike them and go, well, I'm never coming back to this again because this is just annoying. What are we doing next? But that aggravation that comes up, that stuff that comes up in these long holds, that tension, that is the stuff that we're trying to get into through our practice. So sometimes, you know, going to a yin class or an Iyengar class, something that's slow and deep frustrates the hell out of you, but it's really good. So let's go on to the other side. I've forgotten what arm is what now. Strap goes into the what? I forgot my left and right. I'm crap. Strap's in the right hand. Great. That was because I haven't swapped my legs. That's why I'm still mirroring. I'm like, what's going on? Duh. Strap's in the right hand. Take the arm up. And then bend the elbow. So using that left hand to take the arm behind you. This is enough of a posture sometimes. You know, if it's just You're right there. Do you want a block? Sit on a block, because that just looks like it's not comfortable. We want the discomfort, but you need to be able to just seek out that little bit of comfort in it. Good. And then taking the left arm back. See if you can bind on this side. And approach this with kindness. What is your body communicating? There is nothing wrong with going into a class and going, boom, today I'm in it 100%, and my body's there with me, and I'm pushing and it feels good. But walking onto the mat every single time and expecting that level from your body is unrealistic. So what's it communicating today? What's your breath communicating? Can you smile? Like a real smile. Not a grimace. No. That's why yogis say stuff like, find your inner smile. Because actually you need to be able to, because it's that inner smile that communicates to the body, oh, we're good. It's all okay. And then the body responds. Just a couple more breaths. Can you breathe so much that it expands into those tight spaces, and use that exhalation? Exhale everything from the lungs and soften. Wherever that tightness is in your body, can you let it go as you exhale? And then feel as you release, let go. Just feel how sweet it is to unbind, to relax the arms. You can rotate the shoulders forwards, roll them back. Good. And then uncross your legs. Come to lying on your back and have your knees bent and your feet flat to the mat. So as we did last week, variations of bridge pose, we're going to do one variation of bridge. And then if you want to go into Urdhva Dhanurasana, if you're going into wheel, crab, whatever you want to call it, if it's in your practice, how was your back after the other week?
Just that night.
I was quite impressed. I was like, oopsie. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but you know, it's one of those things. So if it's in your practice and you want to go into it, go for it. But otherwise, we'll do a second variation of bridge. So bringing the heels in towards the sitting bones, have the feet hip distance. And hip distance is the distance between the two sitting bones. From the back. From the front, it's between the knobbly bones at the front of the hips. But you can find that hip distance. Now activate your feet. Again, being mindful of knees when we come into this. So lift the toes back. Push down through the four corners of the feet so you feel the tummy muscles activate and the spine lengthen. Keeping that as you inhale, lift the hips up towards the ceiling. So you're coming up into your bridge pose, pressing into the feet, lifting the hips. Come as high as you can like that. Now start to walk the shoulder blades together underneath you. So you're coming onto the tops of the shoulders. See if you can interlace the fingers and extend the arms away. If you have a deeper practice and you take hold of the ankles, then by all means you can do that. But keep lifting the chest towards the chin. Otherwise, too much strain goes into the knees and the hips. When we lift the chest towards the chin, we work into the upper back, the tight bit. And the bottom bit just follows. The hips will just lift automatically. If we just push into the feet and jar the hips up, that top bit stays tight. So work into the upper back. Taking a nice deep breath in, lift a little bit higher, and then exhale to release down. So rolling down one vertebrae at a time. So if you want to go into Urdhva Dhanurasana and it's in your practice, I'm going to let you do that on your own. If you're coming into bridge, you can either do the same variation or you can come into the variation we did where we bring the hands underneath the hips, propping ourselves up on our elbows, yeah? So the arms are turned out, you've got the hands facing outwards, and you prop yourself up. It's a deep back bend, so just listen to your body. So arms over the head if you're doing Urdhva Dhanurasana, arms down by your side for bridge. Go, Lynn. Good. And then slowly coming up into your bridge or onto the top of your head. Good. Good. So lifting the hips up, lift the chest up towards the chin. Now see, you might need to lift onto your tiptoes to do this. See if you can get the heel of the hands underneath the hips. Good. And then Rachel, to have the fingers pointing out. Yeah, so you just create a little, it's quite nice. Yeah. It's actually really nice once you're in it. So you've got the elbows stacked underneath the wrists. Nikki, can you get the hands right under? Otherwise, it's a lot of pressure on the hands. Okay. But you can, yeah, if you stand on tiptoes, or put your feet onto that, tread onto that and go up onto it. Get that extra little bit of height. Just holding for a couple more breaths. And then slowly releasing wherever you are, roll down one vertebrae at a time. You're right, Jenny. Good. And hug your knees in towards your chest. Do a little rock from side to side. So from here, we're going to come into, it's a yin posture, but waterfall. It's one of my favorites. I call it dead bug because it's literally just having the arms up and then letting them hang down. So you just let the head of the arm bones drop down to the mat and the legs up towards the ceiling, but completely wobbly, just hanging. Feel that energy drop. And then slowly lower your feet to the mat. So bringing the feet flat to the mat with the knees bent. Take your arms out to the side, shoulder height with the palms up. Lift up the hips, move the hips to the left side of the mat and place them back down. Then bring your knees towards your chest, keeping the arms where they are. And as you exhale, twist the knees over to the right. So coming towards that right elbow. And then turn your gaze towards your left hand. So you can place the right hand on top of the left knee if you need to, just to hold it down a little. And breathe the length of the spine. And inhaling, come back up to the center. So bring the feet to the mat, move the hips over to the right side of the mat. Bring your knees to your chest. And on your exhale, twist over to the left side and turn the gaze to the right. Coming back up to the center. Bring your hips back to the middle of the mat. And either coming into a short meditation, up sitting, or coming down into Shavasana. If you're lying in Shavasana, just allow the muscle to melt away from the bone. Let the breath breathe you. Just bringing focus back into your body without moving. Take a moment and just feel. Observe how the breath effortlessly moves in and out. And observe the rhythm of that breath. Give your fingers and toes a wiggle. And hug your knees in towards your chest. Do a little rock from side to side. And then roll over onto your right side and gently come up to sitting. Just going to turn Skype crew, we're facing this way too, so we're all going to on together because I have other people and I feel like everybody should say hello. Bringing your hands in front of your heart center into prayer. And we'll close the class chanting 3 Oms together. So take a nice breath in for Om. Gently bowing your head to your higher self. Namaste.